Hey guys, my name is Catherine Hidalgo. I am a blogger and business mentor, and today I'm so excited that I have the opportunity to be able to teach you how you can be able to boost your sales with Instagram. Um, I am really happy about this because a lot of business owners are on Instagram, but they're not sure how to leverage that free marketing opportunity on Instagram to be able to boost their following, their likes, their visibility, and of course their clientele. Today I want to share some tips with you, changes that you can actually incorporate now to be able to start seeing a change in the way that you do business on Instagram. So again, to increase your following, your likes, and of course your clientele. I am also going to be sharing some of my own personal strategy on what I do with marketing on Instagram for my own business. And so feel free to post the any questions that you have after watching this tutorial, of course, below, and then I will answer them for you. So let's dive right in. So Instagram is, for those of you who are not familiar with Instagram, is a free app or a program that many people use. I mean, there are millions of users on Instagram, and it's a visual tool to way for you to visually connect with, on a personal level, with friends, maybe make new friends. But as a business, it's a way for you to, of course, connect with the huge plethora of users out there, which of course can be your clients. So instead of, I know a lot of you guys, because you guys are here on this Facebook group, and which, by the way, I am sharing my own personal tips exclusively with this group. So it's awesome that you guys are here, so you guys can get some of that knowledge that I don't share anywhere else other than with the members of my program, my Instagram program, which I'll talk about a little later on. But so a lot of people go into investing on other types of marketing, for example, Facebook ads. And with those types of marketing strategies, I mean, they're great, but with marketing, there's a lot of experimentation. And with experimentation, sometimes you lose a lot of money with the whole trying to figure out what works best. Okay, with Instagram, you don't have to do any of that because it's free. So you can post pictures, post all kinds of things on Instagram, and you want to see and play around with the images and the caption, hashtags to see what's going to work for you. So it's all about experimenting. And the best part is that you can experiment for free. So I want to show you ways that you can be strategic with your marketing and your experimentation on Instagram to be able to make the sale. So let's get started. I am going to share my screen with you all so I can share my profile on Instagram, and I can show you some of the things that I want to get started with. We're going to cover your profile on Instagram, graphics, your hashtags on Instagram, building a targeted following, and of course, I want to share my own my favorite apps, resources that I use, and the process, a little bit of the process that I use for my marketing on Instagram. This is something that this whole process, as far as this program and everything I've learned on Instagram, has all been through my, experimentation, my own posting, trying to figure out what worked best for me. Honestly, one of the best ways I can explain how all this knowledge came about was because I started out as a broke entrepreneur, trying to work on this dream of mine of building this online business. And I had no resources. So I had to use really what was at my disposal, and of course what was free. So Instagram allowed me to do that for myself, to be able to build my following and clientele. And so all of that helped me build this program and share this knowledge with people through my tutorials. And so I'm really happy that I'm able to do this for you all today. So, all right, so let me share my screen. Okay, you guys should be seeing my screen. Perfect. This is my profile on Instagram. You can follow me at Catherine Geraldo if you'd like. I share a lot of resources, tips for business owners, especially business owners on Instagram, and as well a little bit of inspiration and humor. So let's get started with how you can set up your profile for business on Instagram. So a few key tips. And by the way, I share a more in-depth tutorial, a free tutorial on my website, which you can click here in my link. here in my profile, and it goes more in depth on the profile. So I'm just going to cover it quickly, and then you can go ahead and view that tutorial if you'd like, to go a little bit more in depth as to why some of the elements that I mentioned to be changed in your profile would be best for you as a business owner on Instagram. So the first thing is your picture. I recommend you use a portrait picture of yourself, so a nice smiling face. People want to connect with you as a business owner, so you have to think of yourself as a consumer. Think of how you interact with people that are trying to sell things to you. Okay. Most of the time, people don't like to be sold to. People don't like to be presented, especially if they don't know you and they don't know your business. I mean, most of the time, people are not so open to new businesses, and it's not to say that they're not going to look into you and accept you or anything like that. It just takes time to warm up to you. It takes time to build that trust with new clients. And so I recommend using a picture over a logo, because a logo is something that they cannot connect to. They don't know, it might be all cute and everything, but they don't really know, the new clients and your audience, they don't know what it means. So a picture, at least they get to see who you are and they get to connect with you. Maybe they connect with the way you look, they connect with your smile, your warmth, whatever it is. So show them who you are. If your business has multiple partners, then I would say try a group shot, or maybe a picture of just maybe the head person in charge. So that's a tip that I have for you all for your profile. And again, these are my suggestions. These are things that that with my knowledge, I have been able to get success on for my own business. So you try whatever works for you, but I'm giving you guys the perspective from the blogger in me, in that people want to connect with you as a person over connecting with you as a business or business owner. You see what I mean? So that's one of the main reasons that I suggest to business owners, present yourself more as a person on Instagram over presenting yourself as a business on Instagram. Okay. That doesn't mean that you can't include business elements. Your elements on Instagram, whether it's your profile images, should mainly be business related, but there's a way that you can make it business and personal at the same time. Okay, it's all about sharing your story. The next step, your username. Your username should be closely related, if not the same as your business name. Because I do not have a doing business as, I don't have any other name for my business other than my own, and it's perfect because I could just use my name. So if you don't have a DBA, then use your own name. If you do have a doing business as, or a name for your business that's separate from your own name, then try to have your username be as closely related to your business as possible. You want to then there's a line, because you're going to be setting this up via your phone. So you have to open up the Instagram app and edit your profile there. There's going to be a line for your name. So if your username is the business name, then in the name section, include your full name or nickname, whatever you go by. If your business is your own name, like mine, then use the name section on the profile to include something else. So I included my contact info, my email address. So you can go ahead and do that. Or you can maybe put the name of your business or another, something else that's related to your business. You can just, when it comes to your profile on Instagram, you only have 150 characters. So you got to move things around and use the space to the best of your ability. So these are just some tips to make it work within your profile. You definitely want to include your title, what you do, a little bit about your business. So maybe what your business is about, what you sell, maybe your main product or service, your title, something along those lines. And you want to inject a little personality in there as well. You don't want your profile to just be all business related. So inject maybe a little fun fact, or where you're from, or maybe an inspirational quote, something like that. And with your profile, remember guys, you can change it at any time. You can change your username, you can change your profile. So don't feel like you're going to be stuck with whatever you set the first time around. The next thing is your link. So you're going to notice on Instagram, a lot of people use shortened links or masked links. So these are like Google URLs or Bitly URLs, a combination of letters and numbers. In my opinion, I highly recommend that you use your full URL of your website. If you do not have a website, then maybe the link to your Facebook page, or maybe even if you have a splash page, you want to have, for sure, you want to have a link here. Okay, that's number one. You want to have something here that's clickable. This is the only link in Instagram that's going to be clickable, that will easily direct your traffic. So have a link and make sure to use the full URL. I say this because I know a lot of people use shortened links, because some of those programs have ways of tracking your traffic, and that's all good. But in the beginning, especially if you don't have that following that you're looking for, and that clientele, remember, it's all about building trust with your audience. If you have a shortened or masked link, most of the time people will not want to click on it because they don't know where they're being directed to. Okay, and as well, it's not easy to remember. If you have your full URL, then it's something that they can easily remember, and then they can easily refer out to like maybe their friends, coworkers, etc. They're not going to be able to remember a combination of letters and numbers. Okay, so that's just my opinion as far as your links. So remember, in the beginning, it's all about building trust with your audience. So be honest up front, share with them exactly where it is that you're taking them to. Okay. So those are some tips as far as setting up your profile as a business on Instagram. Another tip that I want you guys to make sure is that you have your posts public on Instagram. You have the option of switching between private and public. As a business, there's no reason for you to have a private profile on Instagram. So make sure that your posts are set to public. That's how people are going to be able to find you and see, of course, your graphics, which is what we're going to go into next. So graphics. I see a lot of businesses on Instagram post pictures and they have no track back to their username, to their Instagram account, or to their website. They have nothing. Guys, this is a huge mistake, because if you post a picture up, let's say this one, for example, this is where I share a tip to my followers. If you share something like this and you forget to include your username and website, or vice versa on the image, if someone loves it and they decide to repost it on Instagram, then and they forget to tag you or mention you in the comments, then their followers have no way of knowing who created this image. Okay. And unfortunately, guys, there are a lot of shady people in the world, so they might also repost your content or reuse it and pass it off as their own. So I say, in all of your business posts, any kind of post that you can edit, do so and include your mark. Okay, so include your username and or website. Anything that's going to lead traffic back to you. People are going to be led back to my profile on Instagram because I want them to follow me, and they're going to be led back to my website, which I want them to check out. Okay, so try to include one or the other, or both. I like to include both at all times. Okay, so, or as much as possible. So that's one of the things that you can do. I have some suggestions for you guys. These are some, again, of my favorite resources. I actually edit my images on a website called Canva. You might have heard of it already. It's canva.com. Or I use PicMonkey, which is another website and resource where you can edit your pictures. Both are free to use. Okay, Canva is a little different because they have elements that are not free, but if you use all of the free elements, then you won't have to pay for the picture. Okay, so Canva or PicMonkey to edit your images. That my number one is Canva, and that's where I create most of my images for Instagram, because they already have a pre-made Instagram sized document, or thing that you can open up and create. It's already set up in the Instagram size, which is 640 by 640. So you don't even have to think about resizing it or anything like that. It's already set for you. All you have to do is just create the graphic. Okay, so that's one of the tips that I have for you guys as far as your graphics. Please make sure to include something to lead traffic back to you. Okay, remember, that is your number one goal in life. And of course on Instagram. What else can I say about graphics? As you can see here, Most of my graphics are images that I created. These are all my own um, things that are my own creation, my own doing. Whenever in doubt with pictures, I would say more often than not, whenever if there's ever any doubt, more often than not, use your own images over using other people's images, whether you create them or you're taking pictures through your phone. Because we have different industries, so maybe your industry, for example, if you're a chef or something, then the images that you're going to be using are more likely going to be your own images, so images of like your recipes that you've created, ingredients that you're using, etc. So Instagram again is a highly visual tool. So you want to have nice images, you want to have professional looking images. So you can either create them using the resources that I gave you, Canva or PicMonkey, or if you're taking pictures, then you can also edit the picture and then just include your watermark in a sense. This is especially useful if you're an artist, if you have original artwork that you're posting on Instagram, for example, if you're maybe a graphic designer or if you're a photographer. A lot of people don't know this, but with Instagram, when you're posting pictures, especially if they're public, someone can take it and pass it off as their own. You pretty much have, I don't want to say you have no rights to your images, but it's pretty much like you're opening it up to be used by the world, especially if your profile is public. That's why I say it's important to lead traffic back to your offerings, to your website, your username. You want to make sure people know and understand who it was that created this image. Okay. As a business owner, the best way to gain a following and gain more likes and gain more visibility is by providing information. Knowledge is power. So try to post more often than not on posts that are high quality information that's related to your industry and your business. Because I am a business mentor and my industry is working with business owners, then a lot of the tips that I give are business related. Somehow it's going to help them with their business. Okay, so you can do that. Maybe make a list of things that you would like to share with your audience, and you can start like that. Hashtags. Hashtags are super, 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 super important, guys. This is how you will open up the doors to having more users, more people on Instagram being able to view your content, being able to view your profile, and of course your website if you have one. You have to be strategic with your hashtags. I see people using hashtags that don't even make sense, that are not even on Instagram being used. You can actually check on Instagram if you open up the app. There's a little magnifying glass. You can actually search the hashtag prior to using it. It's super important, and one of my strategies is, what I like to do is I like to search hashtags. Okay, and then the hashtags that have over 100,000 posts on them, I write down. And then I keep notes and track all of the hashtags that I use and see which ones work best for me. And then what I like to do is the ones that work best for me, I like to reuse them, and I like to keep using the same hashtags. Okay. One of my target audiences are Etsy sellers and Etsy shops. So those are some of the hashtags that I use when it comes to my Instagram program, because I have more clients that are Etsy sellers, which, by the way, I have a giveaway, guys, and you can view it on my profile at Catherine Geraldo. I have a giveaway for Etsy sellers where you can get full access to my Make the Soul with Instagram program, as well as a 30-minute one-on-one with me. So if you are interested in entering, it ends on Sunday the 19th. Then you can come on over to my Instagram page and then you can just enter the giveaway there. So those are, let me just go into the hashtags so you guys can see some of the hashtags I use. If you notice, I use my hashtags in a comment. So I used to do this in the beginning. I used to put the hashtags within the caption. So that when you're posting a picture, you have the picture and then you have the caption. I used to post the hashtags within the caption, but I noticed that especially when I read posts that have hashtags within the caption, I kind of glaze over the text. So I guess for the sake of being visually appealing, I rather have the, you know, the million and one hashtags be used within the comment box. That way it's not taking away from anything within the caption. Okay. You want to make sure that with the caption, you're putting the information that's not available within the picture. So it's kind of like elaborating on what the image doesn't say. Okay. Um, so you want to make sure, and that's just a tip. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but it's easier that way to just include it within, include the hashtags within the comment. A few things about hashtags on Instagram: you can only use up to 30 hashtags. That's including any hashtags you use in the caption. So up to 30 hashtags per post. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you have to post your hashtags right away. So you can either, whether you choose to do them in caption, if you put them in the comments, as long as you post the hashtags within, I would say, the first 2 minutes of posting the picture. Okay, otherwise you're not going to see the image come up within the feed of the hashtag. So basically, if you click on one of the hashtags, you can see what other people have posted on there. And so if you use a hashtag, you want to make sure your post comes up within the feed. Okay, that's how people find you. Okay, because they're going to be searching through hashtags, and then they're going to see your image come up there. Why you want to be strategic with your hashtags is obviously because your targeted audience is going to be looking through these hashtags. And so they are going to see your post. And that's how you're going to get the traffic back to you. So because Etsy sellers are my number one clientele, then I use hashtags related to Etsy sellers. Okay, so I use like Etsy sellers, handmade jewelry, etc. Okay, so that's what I like to do with my posts whenever I'm trying to attract more Etsy sellers and Etsy shops. Okay, so that's just a nice little tip and strategy that you guys can use for your hashtags. Don't just use random hashtags. Okay, remember, you guys are a business, so you want to make sure that you're using the hashtags that are related to your clientele. It's just like search engine optimization, SEO. You want to use the text and hashtags that your target audience is going to be looking for. So let's say you're a personal trainer, then maybe some hashtags that you can use are weight loss, body transformation, etc. You know, if you're a beach body coach, maybe beach body, beach, summer, you know, so you want to use things that people are looking up. Oh, bikini body, bikini, swimsuits, you know, so you want to think of what your target population may be searching for on Instagram. So that's a nice little chunk of knowledge regarding Instagram, and everything is just all about being strategic, guys. This goes back into building your targeted following. Okay, so one of the things that I like to say, I know a lot of people are all about numbers and quantity, so you want to have thousands and thousands of followers. You know, that's all great, but I think it's more important to have a quality following over having a huge following. And I mean, your huge following could be a quality following, of course, you know, but I like to be very selective with who I'm targeting, and then of course who follows me. There's a lot of spam and spammers on Instagram, which Instagram is actually cracking down on those fake accounts or those spam accounts. And you may get a few spammers here and there that follow you. I actually block spammers. So anybody that I see that has spammy type accounts, you can easily tell because sometimes they have no picture, or sometimes in their profile it'll say like make $1,000 in a day, or let me show you how to buy followers. Anything like that, I just don't mess with. So if anybody follows me, I block them because I don't want them stealing any of my content for their own business, because that's all they're going to do. Okay, so I would suggest blocking any kind of spam type accounts. As well, you don't want to use any kind of spammy tactics, because spam is just going to attract more spam. So don't make any misleading promises to your audience. Another thing regarding building your targeted following, what I want you to do is, if you're not sure what hashtags to use or where your targeted following is, then I want you to go through your followers. Okay, so you're going to scroll through your followers and you're going to click through their profiles, and you're going to see if these people are the type of people you would like to have as clients. If they are, then what you want to do is click through their images and see what hashtags they are using. And that way you'll get to see what hashtags you can use for your own posts to target that specific population. Okay, so again, go through your followers, anybody that you see that you are interested in having as a client, see what hashtags they're using and consider using them within your posts. All you have to do is just search the hashtag and see who else is posting on there and how many posts are actually on that hashtag. Again, aim to use the hashtags that are that have over 100,000 posts. I mean, remember, there are millions and millions of people using Instagram. So if something is under 100,000, like with the post, then that means it's not a popular hashtag. A lot of people aren't posting on it. A lot of people aren't checking it. So better to use the ones that have a larger population of people posting, because that means they're being refreshed often. A lot of people are viewing them. A lot of people are searching on them. They're popular. Okay, so you can use the hashtags as many times as you want. I mean, there's no limit. I use the same hashtags often because I've already found some hashtags that work the best for me. And you'll know because you'll get a lot more likes and you'll get a lot more followers every time you use them, so you're going to find what formula works best for you. Just remember, use this like as an experiment. Keep track of those hashtags that you like that are targeted to your followers and keep reusing them, especially if you notice that every time you use them, you get some goodies. So those are some tips for you guys as far as, of course, building your profile to receive business, to receive clientele, to boost your sales, tips for your graphics, tips to lead traffic back to you and your offerings, tips on how to build your targeted following. It's all good to have a great, big following, but remember, your following is your targeting. So if you have a ton of people following you, but none of them are the type of clients you want for your business, then you may want to consider targeting using different hashtags. Maybe you may want to consider maybe switching things up to target the clients that you actually want. Because at the end of the day, you want clients, not followers. Okay, so something to keep in mind. Let me just take a little sip of water. Okay, guys, I hope you guys are with me. And again, feel free to ask questions below, and that way I'll get to them. So I want to share some other of my favorite apps and resources. Actually, I can, let me stop sharing my screen so that way you guys can see my lovely face. Oops. Okay, we're back. So, some of my favorite apps to use on my phone. I actually have an Android, so there are apps that are different between Androids and iPhones. So you can check what apps are going to be great for iPhones. You can even Google it, like best Instagram apps for iPhones, and you can see what's up. Some of the apps that I use, and they may be available on iPhone, are PhotoGrid. PhotoGrid is awesome because you can create collages, you can resize your images. So like, let's say you have a picture and it's too big to fit within Instagram, then you can use PhotoGrid to it'll size it to Instagram, to the Instagram size. And that way you won't lose any of the text and stuff that you want to display on Instagram. Phonto, Phonto, is another app that I use. I believe the equivalent to that on iPhone is WordSwag. So Phonto, if you have an Android, is a great app. You can download really nice backgrounds, and then you can add text to the image. So that way it's a nice way to create something through your phone. Because like the websites I gave you, like Canva and PicMonkey, you can use those on the computer. But like, let's say you want to post something and you're on the road, then you can use an app to create a nice image to post on Instagram. Let me just share my screen again so I can share some of the web resources that I have for you all. Okay. So, I have, there's a website called Unsplash, and they have free high resolution photos. So, if you're gonna use an image that's a professional image, remember you want to use images that you have the rights to. whether they're your own or images that you purchase. So stock images or public domain images, you know. So this is a great website where you can have pretty much royalty-free images that you can use, or professional looking images that nobody can say, hey, I want to sue you for using my image. So this is one of those websites that you can get some really beautiful graphics off of, and this is one of my favorite websites to get free graphics off of that I can use. So you can like get like, see, like this will be a nice background and you can add some beautiful text to it, you know, and post it on Instagram. A lot of people do that to have like inspirational images, for example. Another great website that I want you guys to look into is Iconosquare. So these are some, and I'm sharing some really good, like really awesome things with you guys that like a little bit more advanced than my usual tutorials, because I mean, some of you may already have some really great insight into Instagram anyway. So, but Iconosquare is a great website. You can link it to your Instagram account. And then what you can do is actually view, obviously you can view your feed and people you follow. You can actually search hashtags right here. This is one of the things that I like to do because for my own personal preference, I really don't like typing too much and searching through the phone. I have big fingers, so nice little chunky fingers, and sometimes it's just annoying with like the autocorrect and everything. So what I like to do is actually search my hashtags here. So you can search your hashtags. So let's say Etsy, and then you can see what hashtags come up using the word Etsy, and then you can see this just for an example, and then you can see how many posts are within that particular hashtag. You can click on it and see who else is posting using that, you know, and then you can go ahead and search through different usernames and profiles, and then you can go ahead and see, for example, like this particular person, what other hashtags are they using. So this is how you can get an idea of what hashtags to use for your business, for your targeted audience. Okay, so this is a great website to use, and they have so much more that you can use with them. Okay, let me stop. Oh, actually, let me just go back to my profile here. One of my favorite ways of actually posting on Instagram. So believe it or not, guys, I actually do not take the time to type all of this up on my phone. I don't. Like I said, I have chubby fingers and it's really hard for me sometimes to get through these keys and everything. I just don't have the patience. So what I like to do is I actually like to type up. So I create this image on Canva. And then what I do is I actually attach it to an email, and then I type up the text that I want to include in the, and I type up my hashtags. Most of the time I'm not typing them up because I usually use the same hashtags, and I save all my hashtags in a Google Doc. And so what I do is I just copy it. So I copy and paste. So within the body of the email, I have the text that I want to use and I have my hashtags. Great. So the email contains all of that plus my image. I email it to myself, then I go back to my phone and I download the image on my phone and I copy the text and the hashtags. Then I go to Instagram, post the picture on Instagram, paste the text, the caption, and I paste the hashtags. So that's what I do. Because the hashtags and the caption is all going to be within the caption box, then I go back and I just select my hashtags, and then I cut, post my picture, and paste the hashtags within the comment box. So it's all done really easy. I'm not going in and frantically on my phone or frantically typing my hashtags on the phone. I do it all through email it to myself. And what I like to do is I actually, if I have posts, like let's say I have a day's worth of posts, I'll email them all to myself in different emails. And that way during the day, like I'm not at the computer all day. So throughout the day, like I can be at the movies, I can be in the park, and okay, 3 hours later, the next post, 2 hours later, another post, and I have them all saved to my inbox. And all I have to do is just copy and paste things. Okay. And it's great because in my Gmail, what I do is I keep a folder of all of my Instagram posts. And so I just once I post it, I move it all to that folder. And that's how I keep track of what images I used, what text I use, what hashtags I used. And then whenever I find which combination of hashtags work best, then I reuse them. Okay. So again, it's all about experimenting. It's all about trying different things. All right. So that is actually one of the biggest tips that I have as far as what I do, and something that you can do to kind of save time. I mean, if it works for you to type on your phone, then by all means, but I actually find it best to just type it out on my laptop and then just email everything to myself. It just makes it easier because all I have to do is just download, copy, and paste. That way, I'm already using strategic targeted hashtags that I've already searched through. Okay, so just a little tip for you guys. So this and much more is available on my Make This Whole with Instagram program. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that if by any chance you are interested in learning more about my program. So first of all, I actually just started I am bilingual. I speak Spanish. So if you do speak Spanish or you know someone who is interested in this program, but they don't speak English, they speak Spanish, then you can just have them click here and it'll take them to the Spanish version. And I have a tutorial in Spanish and they can sign up to register for when the Spanish version of my program comes out. So this is the tutorial that I was mentioning to you guys earlier. I go a little bit more in depth as far as your profile and why I suggest doing the things that I do. I also have other tutorials for Instagrammers, businesses on Instagram, on YouTube. So you can just click here and it'll take you over to my page. So my program, it just goes much more in depth on how you can use Instagram as a business, how to build that quality following, being a little bit, I mean, I showed you how to be strategic with your products and services and hashtags and images, but I go way more in depth and I teach you how to be a master of the hashtags on Instagram. Okay. And of course, ways that you can lead traffic back to your website, and then how to convert your followers and turn them into clients. As a member of my program, this is a digital program, so it's a do-it-yourself. I have an extensive workbook and video tutorials. So all you have to do is just download the workbook, read it, and then go ahead and view the video tutorials. And it is very in-depth, and I have a ton of bonus downloads. You get lifetime access as materials, so any kind of updates that I do to the work. Actually have a out which actually just came out today. Boop, boop. So I actually posted, let me go back. I posted it on Instagram today that I just came out with version 2.0. So yeah, so any updates that I make to the program or any kind of additional downloads, any kind of new tips and things that I learn, I give them all to my members. Okay, and I also share tips for specific industries, for bloggers, foodies, crafters, who else, and people in the fitness industry, and artists as well. So I have tips for those specific industries, and I will be having more. And I'm sure I missed somebody. Oh, fashion, beauty, and fashion industries as well. So you get access to all of that at no additional charge once you are a member of the program. The program is $97, and everything that you get will actually be worth so much more, but it is a one-time fee at $97, and of course you get there are no additional charges to any kind of updates or anything like that I make to the program. So if you are interested in joining it, you can go ahead and just read through the terms and conditions, and then click that you understand, and then you can click that you're ready to join. So if that's something that you are interested in, you can go through and view the FAQs that I have on the program, and of course my beautiful Insta tips that I share here. And of course, if you're interested, you can go ahead and come over to my Instagram page, and then you can view all of the lovely tips that I have for you guys. So let me stop sharing my screen. And again, guys, drop your questions below, and I'll be more than happy to answer them if you have any questions on the program or on the tutorial in general, or maybe any kind of business related questions that you have for Instagram. And of course, you can email me info@catherinegeraldo.com if you have any other questions. I'm open to receive questions and feedback and comments and everything like that. So I'm really happy to be able to talk to you. I'm actually super happy that I got this opportunity, and I'm able to share my knowledge with you all, I'm able to help you all, and just give you guys a little insight into how to leverage that free marketing, that free huge client pool. And Instagram is something that's super fun anyway. So, it's not something that's so, I guess, analytical and like techie and hard to use. I mean, it's really easy. So it's just a matter of becoming a master of the hashtags and the creating the graphics and sharing your story in a sense with your audience. Remember, guys, the business is you, and people want to get to know you. Okay, so be honest, be authentic, be yourselves. Don't worry about trying to outshine anyone or outdo anyone or be like anyone else. Just be yourself, and that's the best way that you're going to stand out. So, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so grateful to for this opportunity. I was going to say grateful to be here, but I guess be here in this moment with you all sharing. Again, feel free to check me out on Instagram. You can come on over to my website. I have a blog, so I share in a million and one ways for you all to help you boost your sales. So thank you guys. Have a good night, and I will be in touch. Bye.